Your grandfather bought a house for $15,000. You will pay $450,000 for the same structure. That is not inflation. That is theft by dilution. In 1971, the United States severed the final link between the dollar and gold. Money stopped being a claim on something real. It became a promise backed by nothing but force and debt. Since that moment, every dollar in your wallet has been losing value by design. The house did not get more valuable. Your money got weaker. This is not economics. This is engineered poverty. And by the end of this video, you will see the exact mechanism that transferred your purchasing power into someone else's vault. Let me show you what happened to your future. Before 1971, if you walked into a bank with $35, you could demand 1 ounce of gold. The government had to give it to you. That constraint kept them honest. They could not print unlimited money because every new dollar needed gold backing. But that system had a problem. It limited how much debt the government could create. And debt is how modern empires expand. So they broke the chain. On August 15, 1971, Richard Nixon announced that the United States would no longer convert dollars to gold. He called it temporary. It has been permanent ever since. The moment that link was severed, money became pure abstraction. A number on a screen, a promise with no collateral, and the printing began. Here is what that looks like in your life. In 1970, the median home price in America was $17,000. The median household income was $9,000. That means the average family could buy a house with less than 2 years of income. Today, the median home price is $450,000. The median household income is $75,000. That is 6 years of income. But the house is the same house, same wood, same concrete, same square footage. What changed was not the value of the house. What changed was the value of the dollar. You are not paying more because homes got better. You are paying more because your money got worse. This is not accidental. This is the core function of a fiat currency system. Fiat means by decree. It means the money has value because the government says it does. And when money has no anchor, no limit, no external reference point, the people who control the supply can expand it forever. Every time they print, your share of the total money pool shrinks. You did not get poorer because you failed. You got poorer because they succeeded. Now let me take you back briefly to see where this playbook was tested. In the early 20th century, Europe ran on gold-backed currencies. Governments could not spend beyond their reserves. Then World War I arrived. Wars are expensive. Gold-backed money could not fund the slaughter at scale. So one by one, European nations suspended gold convertibility. They printed money to pay for troops, weapons, and logistics. Inflation spiked. The population paid for the war through the destruction of their savings. After the war, some countries tried to return to gold. Others did not. The ones that kept printing entered hyperinflation. Germany is the famous example, but France, Austria, and Hungary all watched their currencies collapse. The pattern was identical. Remove the gold anchor, print without limit, transfer wealth from savers to debtors and the state. The second ancestor is the Bretton Woods system. After World War II, the world needed a new monetary order. In 1944, Allied nations agreed that all currencies would peg to the dollar, and the dollar would peg to gold at $35 per ounce. The United States held most of the world's gold. This made the dollar the global reserve currency. It also made American fiscal policy the anchor for every other economy. For 2 decades, this worked. But the United States began spending beyond its gold reserves. The Vietnam War, domestic welfare programs, and global military expansion drained the treasury. Foreign governments noticed. They started redeeming dollars for gold. The gold stock fell. By 1971, the United States faced a choice. Either cut spending and raise taxes to defend the gold peg, or break the peg and print freely. They chose to print. Nixon closed the gold window. Every other currency in the world, still pegged to the dollar, became unmoored from reality at the same instant. The third ancestor is the silent devaluation period of the 1970s. After Nixon's decision, inflation in the United States averaged 7% per year through the decade. Wages did not keep pace. Savings accounts lost value. People who worked their entire lives and stored cash for retirement watched their purchasing power evaporate. The government did not announce this as theft. They called it monetary policy. They said it was necessary for growth, but the effect was a direct transfer. People who held cash lost. People who held assets won. People who controlled debt creation won the most. This is when the wealth gap in America began its exponential curve. Not because workers became lazier, not because the rich became smarter, because the rules of money changed, and most people did not notice until it was too late. Now let me show you the stages of how this trap closes around you. Stage 1 is the illusion of stability. You are born into a system where paper money seems normal. You are taught that a dollar is a dollar. You learn to save in dollars, price things in dollars, and plan your future in dollars. The fact that a dollar is a unit of debt, not value, is never explained. You accept the frame without questioning the foundation. This is the setup. You are taught to trust a measuring stick that is actively shrinking. Stage 2 is wage suppression through monetary expansion. As the money supply grows, prices for hard assets rise: housing, land, energy, food, but wages are sticky. Employers do not raise wages in lockstep with money printing. Why would they? Labor is abundant. Desperation is high. So the gap between asset prices and wage growth widens every year. You work the same hours, you produce the same value. But the house, the car, the education all cost more in nominal terms. You are running on a treadmill that speeds up while you stay in place. The system does not need to cut your wage. It just needs to devalue the currency you are paid in. Stage 3 is the debt trap. When you realize you cannot afford a house with saved income, you are offered a loan. The bank does not lend you money it saved. It creates the money the moment you sign. That new money enters the economy and pushes prices higher. You now owe debt priced in today's dollars, but you will repay it with future dollars that are worth less. This sounds like a benefit. It is not. Because while your debt stays fixed, the prices of everything you need to survive keep rising. Your mortgage might be locked, but your food, insurance, utilities and childcare all climb. You are chained to the payment, and the payment is chained to a currency that loses value by design. The loan is not help. It is a tool to extract your future labor. Stage 4 is asset inflation as wealth transfer. The people who already own assets benefit from money printing. If you own 10 properties and the central bank expands the money supply, your properties rise in price without you doing anything. You did not improve them. You did not make them more useful, but their nominal price climbs. Meanwhile, people trying to buy their first asset are priced out. The wealth gap is not a gap in productivity. It is a gap in proximity to money creation. Banks, governments, and large asset holders receive new money first. By the time it reaches workers, prices have already adjusted. This is called the Cantillon effect. The closer you are to the money spigot, the more you benefit. The further you are, the more you lose. Stage 5 is the normalization of instability. After decades of this system, the population stops expecting stability. Rent goes up every year. Tuition doubles every decade. Healthcare costs spiral. These are not natural market outcomes. They are symptoms of currency debasement, but instead of blaming the money system, the population blames capitalism, or greed, or bad policy. The real cause stays hidden. People argue over minimum wage, tax rates, and welfare programs. All of these debates happen inside a frame that assumes the dollar is a stable unit. It is not. You are arguing over how to split a pie that is shrinking, while the bakers take more flour every year. The diagnostic is wrong, so the solutions fail. Stage 6 is where you are right now. You have been told that homeownership is the path to wealth. That real estate is a safe investment, that if you just work harder, save smarter, and buy property, you will be secure. And in a narrow sense, this is true. People who bought homes 20 years ago did see their net worth rise, but that wealth is not real. It is nominal. If you sell your house for $450,000, you still need a place to live. The next house costs just as much. You did not gain wealth. You gained a number that reflects the destruction of the currency. The only people who win are those who sell assets and move to a jurisdiction with a stronger currency or lower cost of living. Everyone else is running in place, while the treadmill accelerates. Let me show you the math. In 1971, the United States money supply, measured by M2, was $600 billion. Today, it is over $21 trillion. That is a 35-fold increase. The population did not grow 35 times. Productivity did not grow 35 times. The money supply did. Every new dollar dilutes the value of every existing dollar. If you saved $100,000 in 1971 and held it as cash, that amount today has the purchasing power of roughly $8,000. You lost 92% of your wealth by trusting the system. You did not spend it. You did not gamble it. You saved it in the currency your government told you to trust, and you were robbed in slow motion. This is not a conspiracy. This is a business model. Governments fund deficits by printing money. Central banks enable this by purchasing government debt with newly created reserves. The debt never gets repaid. It gets rolled over, and the money supply expands to service it. This is how modern empires function. They do not tax you directly for wars, bailouts, or subsidies. They tax you through inflation. And inflation is a hidden tax because most people do not understand it. They see prices rising and blame the store, the landlord, the corporation. They do not see the central bank expanding the money supply by trillions. The theft is invisible, so the anger is misdirected. Here is what this looks like in your grocery bill. In 2000, a gallon of milk cost $2.78. Today, it costs $4.20. Same milk, same cow, same shelf. The milk did not get better. The dollar got worse. In 2000, a dozen eggs cost 91 cents. Today, they cost $2.30. You are not paying more because chickens became rare. You're paying more because the money you earn buys less. Multiply this across every item you purchase. Rent, gas, insurance, tuition. Every single price is inflated by monetary expansion. And the raise you got last year, if you got one, does not cover it. Real wages, adjusted for inflation, have been flat for 50 years. You are working just as hard as your grandfather. But your money is worth a fraction of what his was. The system relies on you not understanding this. If the population realized that their purchasing power was being stolen by design, they would demand a return to sound money. So the theft is obscured with language. They call it quantitative easing, not money printing. They call it managing inflation, not currency debasement. They tell you the economy is growing when what is actually growing is the money supply. Gross domestic product measured in a currency that is being debased will always appear to grow. But real output, real productivity, real wealth, those metrics are harder to inflate. The illusion is designed to feel like progress. Now let me tell you where you are in this map. If you're under 40 and do not already own property, you are in stage 6. You are watching asset prices climb faster than your ability to save. Every year you wait, the gap widens. If you are over 40 and own a home, you are in a trap disguised as success. Your home value has tripled, but so has the cost of everything else. If you sell, you cannot afford to buy back in. If you borrow against it, you're increasing your debt in a depreciating currency. If you hold it and pass it to your children, they will inherit an asset priced in a currency worth less every year. You are not wealthier. You are holding a nominal number that reflects systemic devaluation. If you rent, you are in the worst position. Rent tracks asset prices, which track money supply expansion. Your landlord's mortgage might be fixed, but your rent is not. Every lease renewal is a recalculation based on inflated property values. You are paying for someone else's leveraged bet in a rigged game. And the longer you rent, the harder it becomes to save for a down payment, because the target keeps moving. This is not a personal failure. This is a structural trap. The system is designed to transfer wealth from renters to asset holders and from wage earners to debt creators.